Hey guys. Hey, happy Wednesday. Can you see me? Let me tilt this better. Child, listen. This is just gonna have to work. So happy Wednesday. It is the 21st of November and I am filming for you guys today a day in the life of a nurse practitioner video. I had asked if some of you guys were interested in seeing this and I got some pretty good responses, so here I am. So just a background, I am having to speak low because number one, I can't be recording at work. That's number one. Number two, my energy might be a little bit low because I'm actually coming from work this morning. I got out at 8 o'clock. I left a little bit early. I got out at 8 o'clock and it's 12 o'clock and I'm here at the clinic. For those who do not know or those who have not watched like my previous videos, I am practicing as a nurse practitioner per diem and I am an RN full-time, and the days that I normally practice as a nurse practitioner are Thursday and Friday. But given the fact that there is a holiday this week, I am only at the clinic today. So yeah, so let's get started. What I normally do when I come to work is log into obviously the system just to kind of see how many patients I have scheduled for the day. Today, since I am not necessarily covering for any particular provider, which is something that I've been doing in the past, like when a doctor goes on vacation or they're out on leave or they just call out, I cover their panel. So I normally have a longer panel, but today I only have 4 patients scheduled, and the rest of them will likely be walk-ins. So I normally log in just to see what I'm dealing with. Right now I have 4. One of them is here for a drug test and I got a few physicals. And before I even start seeing patients, I actually go over all of my labs because I'm only here the 2 days. It's really important that I actually like follow up on like the labs that I draw, because if there's anything that is emergent, I have to make sure that I catch it and address it, or if there is nothing that needs to be done, I can just disregard it. So let me see. So what I do when I look at my patient's blood work, I either do one of two things. I either just go over it and close it, because most of our patients are really compliant and they come back in 2 weeks after we see them to go over their blood work. Or if it's something that's emergent that requires maybe for me to send a prescription, I personally make sure that I call the patient, and I do so. Now there is a young lady that I'm going to call because she had came in with complaints of hair loss that has progressively gotten worse over the past few months. The last time we had saw her, she had a low vitamin D level, and when she came to see me the other day, her TSH was already within normal range. So I just did a little digging, going back, and I noticed that they didn't do anything with like a B12. So I ordered that, and I ordered another vitamin D level for her. And before she left, I had already prescribed her like vitamin D supplements to take. So I'm just gonna call her. The labs came back normal for her. So I'm just gonna call her just to kind of give her a little peace of mind, because I told her that I personally will call. I do have a patient that's here right now. This is not bad. I have a patient that's here right now, so I'm gonna try my best just to say this. I'm gonna try my best just to kind of get him in, get him out. That's how I operate. I don't really like to keep the patient sitting here for too long, because it is a clinic, so I do understand that it's a little bit annoying to be having to wait for a provider, but I can say like that's what comes with the clinic, you know. It's not a private practice. So A1C is 7.4. What was his A1C the last time? Okay, so that's that. All right, so I had to change locations because they needed another room. So I'm in another provider's room right now, so that I now have 2 functioning examination rooms. So a couple of things. I've saw 2 patients so far. One of them, like the one that I said is here for a drug test. Also wanted a medication refill. So she apparently suffered from, and I had an episode of hypothyroidism for which she was getting lisinopril. I'm sorry, she was getting Synthroid. So she comes today, in addition to the drug test, she's asking for a refill on the thyroid medication. So I'm going through not only her labs, which is, like I told you guys, we both check the labs. I went through the labs. I don't see any updated labs on her, because if you suffer from hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, most providers require every 3 months check up to make sure that your levels are okay. So she has no updated labs since August, number one. Number two, I'm going through all of her medications and I don't see any medication for her thyroid. So in addition to her having a language barrier, she also is a poor historian. She really doesn't know which medication she's on, how many milligrams she's on, etc. So I had to go back into the provider's notes. Now, this is one of the things that really grinds my gears. Maybe it's because I am coming from a nurse's perspective, but a lot of the nurses' documentation that I've seen and the type of documentation that I do, I'm very thorough. I have a lot of information, which could be to my demise as well, because they say the more that you put, the more incriminating it can be. I don't know. But I'm going back into the providers who are her, because she has an endocrinologist and she also has her PCP. I'm going through their notes and I'm not really seeing anything. Nothing is giving me anything. So I ended up having to call the pharmacy so that they can give me the pharmacy that she is associated with is not too far from where we are. So they had to give me a list of all of the medications that she's on, which is not much. She's on hydrochlorothiazide and amlodipine for her blood pressure. And apparently they were advised by her endocrinologist not to give the Synthroid because her last levels were okay. Okay? So now that's that. As easy as that sounds, taking the time to actually comb through and do this type of work can take more than 15 minutes. So I say this to say that there are certain places where nurse practitioners and also doctors and PAs work where they are required to see a certain amount of patients a day. And when you break it down by the number of patients that you need to see and the amount of time that you have in a day, it kind of gives you a rough figure of 15 minutes. So within 15 minutes, you're supposed to connect with your patient. You're supposed to make them feel comfortable. You're supposed to kiki and laugh, I guess. You're supposed to also go over all of their medications. You're supposed to address their concerns, make sure that you know which referrals are needed, and know which avenues to take in the event that they are in the event that you find something. And then you also have to find time to chart. So sometimes I do thank God that I don't have a panel of my own. I am not a popular provider, because there are some providers, like, they are popular within the community where their patients keep up with their appointments, they send their friends, they send their family members, so their business is booming, which is good. But I like to take the time to actually make sure I know what I'm doing. So I was able to spend 20 minutes with this one patient trying to figure out what the hell she needs. So I go from her to another gentleman who is a little bit older than she is. He comes with complaints of a bloating stomach. So just digging, asking him if he's having any nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Did he change his diet? Is there any blood in his stool? Stuff like that. Only come to find out that he has just a little bit of just a little upset stomach. Nothing that a little Maalox can't fix. So as I'm putting that in, he then pulls out his medication and asks me for a refill for finasteride. So I say, sure, no problem. I go back to the labs okay, fine. Give him the finasteride. And then I'm looking at a list of all of the medications that he's ever taken. And this is another thing that grinds my gears, guys. Like, sometimes I love it and sometimes it kills me. A lot of people don't clean up the patient's charts. So the way that this charting system works is, if I order a medication myself, myself personally, I order a medication, the next time a provider logs in, it looks like the patient's still taking that medication. Mind you, it could have been a one-time thing, like an antibiotic, or the patient was complaining of some type of pain, or some type of muscle spasm, and you gave them cyclobenzaprine. Now, That doesn't mean that the patient's on that continuously, but that medication that I may have ordered gets muddied up and lost in all of the medications that are like a one-time dose and the standing medications. So in addition to like the 10,000 things that I mentioned that you have to kind of do, you also want to do a medication like not an assessment, but you're doing like a cleanup, like a clean sweep, where you want to housekeeping, yeah, medication housekeeping, basically to ask them, are you on this, are you on that, are you not on this, whatever. Now you have two types of patients. You have the ones who are basically doctors themselves. They tell you everything. They know, they're pharmacists. They know everything that they're on, the milligrams, the side effects, the times of day that they take it, everything. And then you have some of them who really just say, listen, I know that I take a certain amount of medications a day, and I can't tell you how many milligrams they are. I can't tell you if I have any more. I can't tell you certain things. So you kind of got to dig through. So this guy here, I'm going to show you. He's on, these are all of the things that it says that he is on currently. And if you pay attention, there may be some duplicates here. And some of the things here you can tell had to have been a one-time dose. For example, here, this is a Z-Pack. You're not on the Z-Pack forever, but it seems as though he's taking that in addition to all the other medications. So this was another thing that I had to like sit there and comb through and figure out which medications he's on, just so that I can make sense of the chart. Thankfully he knew some stuff, so whatever it is that he didn't know, I'm not gonna mark them as not taking. But the ones that for sure no longer in his daily rotation, I'm getting them out the system. I have another patient. Let me go. So the patient that I just saw was not necessarily an interesting case, but it was a situation where you kind of gotta use your judgment and not jump at every single thing, which is something that I've had to kind of get used to doing, because I'm from a hospital setting where I think everything's an emergency. Like, you have, oh my God, you have chest pain, oh my God, let's get an EKG going, patient has STEMI, you know, weird things like that. But in an outpatient setting, people do come with complaints, and you kind of got to fish through to figure out what's important and what's not. So apparently I had an 87-year-old female who came to me. She came with an aide. She is coming from a skilled facility, I believe, and they wrote a note so that I can read and kind of gauge what happened to her this morning. So they're saying that this morning she had an episode where she almost fell, which is relatively vague. They're saying that she almost fell. Also, she's complaining of right-sided facial pain, and she is also getting more upset. So it's like, these are kind of vague, very, very vague chief complaints. So for the fall, I asked the aide, did you witness the fall or her almost fall? She says, well, they actually told me what happened. Wherever she was, they told the aide what happened. And the aide said, quite honestly, I've been watching her walk from that very moment on. She walks with a walker, and sometimes when she does get up too quickly, she does stumble. So I'm not sure maybe if that's what it was, but I asked her, did you see her walk in here? Like, how's she been? She goes, she's been fine. I asked the patient, even though the patient does have, she seems relatively with it. So I'm like, are you having any dizziness or any weakness? She's like, no, not really. She says, you know, I just kind of almost fell. So I said, no problem. Just to kind of cover my bases, I ordered vitamin B12 on her, and also just ordered an RPR on her, because for those people who do not know, a lot of the older patients sometimes have underlying syphilis, like a latent syphilis that we may not have caught. I went back into her chart as far as I can go, and I don't see any RPR, so I'm just gonna cover my base. But I really just think it was just her not, you know, taking her time to get up, because the blood pressure was fine, no dizziness, no generalized weakness, but fine, just cover my base. Now for the facial pain, she wears dentures, so I just asked her, can you remove your dentures? She says yes. She has a canker sore underneath the denture. Like, okay, so that's something we can easily take care of. And as far as her being a little bit more upset, it's not like she's aggressive or anything like that. She had gotten into it with one of the staff members because of I think they either took something from her or put something in a spot that she didn't really like, and she's a very particular person as per the aide's description. So she's like, I'm not even sure why I'm here, but you know, I have to be here because they asked me to come and see the doctor. So all in all, I really spent most of my time just actually trying to clean up her panel as well, just kind of going through what medication she's taking and what she's not taking, and also just ordered like some type of oral gel for her to use on her gums, so that I think it might just be that the dentures are rubbing up against the gums, because I asked the aide, when was the last time you took her to the dentist? She says it's been over a year, probably been over 2 years. So it might just be that the dentures are ill-fitting, they need to be refit, or she probably just needs to get maybe a brand new denture, or just, you know, she has to get some oral care done. Yeah, the day's going. I mean, even though I haven't seen a lot of patients so far, how many have I seen? There's another one here. Even though I haven't seen a lot of patients so far, the patients that I have seen are keeping me pretty occupied, you know. So right now it's about 1:30. I am hungry, if anybody's wondering. I didn't eat breakfast. As soon as I came from work, I actually just went straight to sleep because I wanted to use as much time to sleep as possible. So I just went home, took a shower, slept. So I haven't eaten anything actually. All right, y'all, so right now it is about 4:42 p.m. and I can say the latter portion of the day slowed down, so I was able to catch up on some of my notes. Did I close out? Yeah, I closed out all of my notes. Everything is okay, everything is good. Didn't see that many patients today, but the patients that I did see kind of kept me occupied. So I only saw 9 patients, which is nothing in comparison to the people who see a huge volume. But for me, it was just enough. It was perfect. I hope my eyes don't look red. They feel very dry. I come back here next Thursday, but I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy this day with me. I hope, you know, you learned something, or you kind of got a different vibe. It's not a regular vlog, and I hope that for those who are new NPs or who are considering to be nurse practitioners, I hope this kind of give an insight to like some of the things that we deal with, which is just, this is just nothing. This is nothing in comparison to the multiple things that we have to handle and stuff like that, but it is different from the bedside. So yeah, I'm closing out. I'm just waiting for like 15 more minutes so I can clock out. I am hungry. Gotta go get some dinner. I think I might do Jamaican food today, even though I'm technically like on a diet, but I didn't eat all day. So I think I might do Jamaican food today, and I'm gonna call on my boyfriend because I need a massage, because I'm tired. I need a massage, I need a nap, and I need some dinner. So yeah, guys, if I don't come in, when am I gonna come in again? I think I might vlog for Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow. And what else? I don't know. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Bye.